Hello everyone, my name is Steven Zapata. I'm a concept artist, illustrator, online art teacher, and former instructor at Art Center College of Design. I would like to introduce you to my new drawing course, Form from Imagination, a course designed to help you draw with confidence from your mind. Maybe you want to be a professional illustrator or designer, maybe you want to be a master with a pencil, or maybe you just want to be the best artist that you can be. Beautiful goals. But it's not always clear how to improve the work that you do from imagination. Over the past 6 months, I've taken all of the little eurekas, tips, and essential exercises that gave me confidence drawing from my mind and compiled them into a sequential course. We start with the absolute foundations, covering the scientific nature of light and shadow, how to hatch, how to create flat tones, how to render spheres and cubes, and step by step, we move through combined shapes, complex shapes, organic shapes. We cover how to simplify extremely complex subjects like the head into basic shapes so that you can handle them more easily from your head. We look at how to understand and treat details. And by the end of these 14 chapters with over 50 video lessons, you'll be ready to do complex designs from your mind with fidelity and energy. And all the demos are done in pencil on paper, so you can do all of the assignments even if you don't have a fancy digital art setup. But I also have demos, instructions, and modifications to the assignments for those who do want to do them digitally. Here's how it works. Go to formfromimagination.com and sign up for the course. Download the assignment book and start watching the lectures. Do the assignments at your own pace. Take your time with them and use this self-study to develop your patience. When you're done, post your assignments in the exclusive community hub, and I'll personally critique your work with drawovers, diagrams, and advice. I want you to know, this course is no joke just because it's online. It is challenging content, and it is more complete than it would be if I was teaching this class at an art college as I have before. If I was teaching this class in person at Art Center today, I would just play these videos in class, knowing full well that they're the most concise, focused, edited, step-by-step way to convey the material. So I'm serious when I say, this course isn't just a substitute for a college-level course, it's better than a college-level course. And you don't have to pay thousands of dollars per credit and wind up hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. So thank you for checking out the course, thank you for watching this and for your support, and thank you for drawing and making your artwork. The world needs it. I'll see you soon. Dear friends, here we are. Another day, behold, he draws on Mondays. Here we are, once again, at the very cutting edge of art. We've left all of the scoundrels, dilettantes, and half-hearts behind. It's just you and I on the bleeding edge, on the ever-receding horizon of the one true art, the most highbrow, the most distinguished, the most sophisticated, the most highly educated, the most coastal elite. You know what I'm talking about. Goblins, fishermen's, skeletal warriors, orcs, the most sophisticated of subject matters, the most divine and inspired content possible for a drawing, meant only to be elevated by the skill and discipline manifest by each individual artist. Finally seeing you live. Hello, Johnny Pearson. Hold on here, let me move my chat. It's not in a place I like. I gotta get it more to a place I like. Oh, these old eyes, they're going. I'm actually gonna swap my feed and my chat, I like my chat up there. Instead, I'll put my stupid little face right over here, I think. How's my exposure? Maybe a little hot. Just close that a touch. That's too dark. That's about what it looks like in this room right now. Just go a little. That's all right. Preeth 13, MJ Sonic. Money laundering has nothing to do with goblins. Yeah. Milky Rich Charlie. I can't, I'm foul by welcome, Cursed Fetus. Welcome, Cursed Fetus. Welcome, hopefully have a not cursed day. Johnny Pearson, Karem Aldemir, Keynuts, Rafi Kareel, Nova, Gab Links, Lol Static, Sept Helder Fernandez, Theodora T, Yankee JG Art World Verithele, Flu _ NC Abel Vasquez Dopazo. Hey yo, happy drawing to you all. Hello. Ray Damoiso, Hainai, Ayub Saidi, Gabe, Chady on Fire, Gallon Arts, Hairspray Queen, and all the other artists who are joining and sketching and hanging out. Excuse me if I take a minute or two here at the outset to sip my tea. Allergy season is in full swing. Taking my meds and all that, but my throat is still tight a lot of the time. Doing a lot of coughing. Should end any second now. The damn cherry blossoms and magnolias on my block are blooming. I look at them every day. I'm like, you're pretty trees, but damn you. Damn you. Why right in front of my home? All their little buds shooting their stuff out everywhere. It's like, you're messing me up. Chicago loves you. Thank you, Aaliyah. I assume that you can indeed speak for the entirety of Chicago and their true inner hearts. So it's nice to know that all Chicagoans and the city of Chicago itself, when embodied in a sort of sentient hypothetical, also loves me. This is my first time watching your video. Abhishek Engel. Good for you, man. I mean, you have excellent taste. You're very lucky to have bumped into this. I mean, some angel of light or darkness has guided you here for reasons faded and untold, but you are truly lucky. I mean, what I wouldn't give to forget what it's like to watch one of my own streams and to find out again. I mean, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Multi Sanchito, hello. The animals doing trees. Damn animals. Hubs Junkyard says, Steven, you fiend. Drawing again? I thought those times were over. When will it be enough? I'm like, dude, it's got to be enough soon, right? Like I'm just about to hit, what is it? 13,576,235 drawings in my lifetime. I'm like, we got to be close. I think once it rolls over to 14 million, that's got to be the number, and we're done here. That's got to be the number. That amount of drawings will finally fill the deep, vacuous, gaping hole within my heart. That should do it. After that, I'm sure I'll be ready to just tune into my life, enjoy walking around, just being present in the moment, stop constantly thinking about resisting the void by leaving permanent artifacts that proclaim, I was here. I was here. Pedro Assisi. Hello, Stephen. Do you still have the intention to release a design course? Yes. Yes. It's the next thing, the next educational thing that I want to make, for sure. It's the trick is setting it up financially and being able to get the help that I need and to be able to hire the people that I need and things like that. Because I want to do it the way that I would want to teach design, which is very broad, would require, well, it doesn't require, but I think it's best taught in a very multidisciplinary way, and with some production value required. You got to go out in the world. You got to see things. You got to break things down for people. It's really because I think design really is taught sort of in conversations with mentors, with people who have it. So it'd be some form of trying to replicate dragging you out in the street with me the way that the people who taught me did. And they're like, look at that. What do you think about that? And explaining like why that works and what would lead to those decisions and why we think we find that appealing. Yes, no monsters, just beautiful things, says Ray. Yeah, I'm sure we won't. There's definitely not going to be any monsters being drawn on this stream. Certainly not. Certainly not. Zangitatai. Steven, the German government is pressuring me to become a pro artist in 2 years, but I'm not sure if I can do it. If your government believes in you, you better believe in yourself. I mean, the government doesn't believe in anybody. If the government believes in you enough to pressure you into it, you got to start believing in yourself. You got to do it. You got to do it. It's that allergy throat. I learned the truth at 17, that love was meant for beauty queens. All right, we're doing right. Here I come, time to draw, says Anxious. Yeah, you got to go for it. Believe in yourself. 2 years, you can do a lot in 2 years, man. I mean, bite off more than you can chew. Are you young? If you're young, if you got energy and vinegar and testosterone in you, just go for it. Just blast it out of the water. I mean, it might be the time. If you're older, you got responsibilities. Maybe you're a fiduciary responsibility holder for someone that you're taking care of or somebody who is your dependent, in which case don't fuck with it. Hello, my little dog. Yes, big stretch. Big stretch. Who has a stinky mouth? Who has the cutest little ears? Who's a good girl? All right, go to bed. I don't know what you're doing here. It's way too early. She always comes when I sing. She always comes when I sing. She always comes when I sing. Why the finger in the ear, though? What are you talking about? That's how I push my monitor, my vocal monitor, into my ear so I can hear my singing better over the driving bass of the drums that are right behind me. You know, because the speakers are pointed out at the arena, and me and the rest of the band, the supporting band, we're behind the speakers, so we can't hear. We don't hear the amplified thing. It's just chaos. You need your monitor, and you push it into your ear for better contact with the tiny bones of the ear that transmit sound. That transmits sound. You're totally right. I should believe in myself. I'll do it. How easy is it to be an internet personality? Let's just completely ignore. Let's just completely ignore what Zangatai said. Let's ignore what Zangatai said. But how easy is it to be an internet personality? You just tell people, believe in yourself, and they're like, incredible. Wow, I'm so glad I was here. It's like, my God, what's happened to our culture that people hear the idea of just believing in yourself, and they're like, man, what a novel concept. Holy shit, I'm glad somebody told me. It's wild, we're out of control. We're completely out of control, folks. With the powers vested in me by the great administration of YouTube, I hereby grant you all permission to believe in yourselves. You were all waiting for it. You all certainly needed it. It would have been wrong of you to believe in yourselves without permission from me, but now you have it. I've taken it upon myself with the various degrees and rights that YouTube has granted to me in accordance with my subscriber count to give you all blanket license to believe in yourself. Oop, I moved my setup and now my camera lens is in the shot. It's just, I gotta drink my tea before it gets cold. Looks like a really good cup of coffee. Tea. I'm violating my past 9 a.m. rule, so if I'm gonna violate my rule, I'm at least violating it with tea instead of coffee. While Static says, but you're Steven Zapata. That's right. Yes, I am. Steven, you decided a 17-year-old's career last time. Very easy. Rough. That did happen. But we'll see. We'll see if they follow through. We'll see how much they trust the old Steven man's words. Thanks, Steven. I'll go be awesome now. Good for you, Vega. Go on. Go on. Go on, get. It's like that scene in Old Yeller. You're all the dog and I'm the little kid and I'm throwing the stone at you and I'm like, go on, get out of here. It's for your own good. Go on, Old Yeller. Go on and make drawings and believe in yourself. Stop listening to me. I'm just some boy on the internet. Is that what the kid at the end of Old Yeller sounded like? I don't remember. Have I ever seen Old Yeller? Does that scene even happen in Old Yeller? I actually don't know. Ray says, driving my pickup on the countryside here at the moment. Damn. Stevie Boy vocals coming out of the speakers in the pickup on the countryside. Hills rolling by, God's good light cresting over the mountains. The pale blue brittle sky, open, wild, vast. Moving by ever so slow, delicious parallax, one feature to another, shadows picking away across the plane tree and counter tree, meeting at their origin point, and from therein departing into worlds unknown. Stephen Zapata's voice ringing out the gentle hum of the car underneath. And all that can be felt is peace throughout the land. Well, I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna... Is the tea caffeinated? Trade secrets. Trade secrets. We can't talk about that. Was Old Yeller a boy dog? Had to be. I think Old Yeller was a boy dog. Can't have a girl dog going rabbit. You can't be doing that. Our gentle hearts, our weak constitutions, they can't handle it. I like when Stephen turns into ChatGPT. We all need to turn into ChatGPT sometimes. Aldrin Miles Bartosa says, hope banana bread also believe on me upon the heavens. He's up there. He's looking down on all of us. He's looking down on all of us. This one's for you, banana bread. Everyone in the stadium goes wild. Lighters going left and right. Nothing but points. No lighters. It's all cell phones, right? Cell phone lights on like stars bedighting the firmament as I sing Banana Bread's favorite song, The Gambler. I don't know why I think it's so funny that anybody's favorite song would be The Gambler. Because it's not funny. Why is it funny? Because it's genuine. It's got to be one of the best songs ever made. You know what's good about The Gambler? Is that it knows when to get out. You know, it gets to the twist real early. You know, you're only like a minute or so into The Gambler when it's like out there in the darkness. Somewhere he broke even. And in his final words, I found an ace that I could keep. I mean, that's a turn most others would have saved to the end of the song. But in The Gambler, it's right up front. They're not messing around. They're like, this is pure entertainment. And then you just get that long refrain over and over again, leading out of it. It's like, Jesus Christ. What a song. What a song. Oster says, Stephen, glad to see you this often. Glad to be here this often. Glad to be in good enough health to be here this often. Glad to have enough energy to be here this often. Glad to have the will to be here this often. You know, these things are largely out of our control. Some days you feel tired. Some months you don't have a lot of energy. Some years you're just looking off into the distance most of the time, asking yourself, how did I get here? So I thank my lucky stars for every day, every year, every month where I feel focused and moisturized enough to just get on stream and know I'm in the right place at the right time. Every moment spent drawing is a moment well spent. Every second spent analyzing the anatomical quirks of a vicious fisherman's is a moment well spent. I know what I'm going to do today. I don't know if I'm going to render. I don't know if I'm just going to sketch. I don't know if I'm going to put some ink on these guys. What pencil do you recommend for shading? It depends what kinds of rendering you want to do. My personal preference is to use, well, first off, just hardness. My favorite is to just use the HB for almost everything. I'll use a really soft, dark pencil for the darkest shadows, but I do the vast majority of the work with just a normal HB pencil. But the big thing I would say is that I like to use a sharp pencil for almost all of it, just a little point. You know, if you're impatient, that can be a problem, but I don't like using the side of the pencil for shading very much, personally. What if Old Yeller made a new family with goblins? It's disgusting. What a reprobate thought. should be ashamed of yourself. Hideous, hideous thing to think. For so many reasons. My God. It's disgusting. Disgusting. You freak. Dog and goblin family. You're sick. Sick in the head. Are you working on a watercolor pad? Yeah, this one is. I like this paper fine. It's not, I don't like it as much as I like my typical favorite paper, the Strathmore 400 series, but this is also excellent paper, all things told. Very high quality. It was just the pad I had on the desk when I started streaming. It's also nice because this one, you could get this pretty cheap. This is pretty cheap for, there's 50 sheets in here, whereas a Bristol paper pad can be just a few, you know, just 15 or 20 or something like that. Hatching just feels nicer than angle shading. I would agree. Let me make sure I'm in focus here. I am. In focus enough. Good enough for Goonies. Oh, I forgot to put on some music. Let's put on a little musica. Do you fix your completed drawings? Does it mess with the values? I don't fix them. My drawings don't really smudge much. I think just because they're so... My drawings are actually pretty light on graphite. Like, there's just not that much on the surface except in the darkest areas. If I was ever going to, like, sell them or give them to someone, I might fix those. But since I just hold on to all of them these days, I don't fix them. They're just in a folio, nice and peaceful. Even if they smudge a little, it's really not going to be noticeable. And I just, you know, who knows? I might want to rework them a bit, even though there is workable fixative that lets you keep working drawings. I'm also just not sure to trust, if I trust fixative. I mean, a lot of fixatives yellow drawings over time. I don't think there's anything more archival than just leaving the paper alone. You never know the kinds of effects things like that can have. Like, I think Michelangelo's Libyan Sibyl, his study for the Libyan Sibyl, which is probably one of the most famous drawings, if not the most famous drawing in art history. If you read the history of its preservation and provenance, it's like we don't actually, as we know it, we don't know the drawing for real. You know, we actually see the version we see today, and I've seen it in person. The Met has it, and you can actually ask to look at it if you know what you're doing. But it's been shellacked by a museum in the past, and the shellac that they used back then actually increases the contrast on drawings. So the original looked different, had a different contrast ratio than what we're used to, than the one that we know. So it's interesting that we don't actually, this incredible, famous drawing, we don't actually know its true form. You know, so I don't fuck with them. Modern day James, how are you, buddy? That is a beautiful fish, man, says James. Incredible. I'm getting the compliments from James. He loves a good fish, man. He has good taste. He knows a good fish, man, when he sees it. How are you, buddy? Tell him, James. Tell him the truth about how you are. Stephen, where do you mostly find these stories of art history? On the placards at museums. That's it. I go to museums very often, and I read the info cards. And when they write on the walls at the beginning of an exhibit, I read those. That's the vast majority of the art history that I've learned. I don't retain all of it very well, you know, I don't hold on to dates and things like that very well. And I am a dumb guy with a limited worldview, but you sort of get broad stroke stuff. Just over time, it aggregates. Oh, get blinks with 25 PLN. Steven, when drawing gesture, I use the line of the spine for the body, but I can't figure out the hands. They look twisted, broken, instead of graceful. Well, hands are just highly structural. I mean, you can get a gesture line for them just like as an initial thing, but that's just establishing the overall curvature. I mean, you could get individual little gestures for, you know, let's say that's the thumb. And then maybe if there's like a, oh, well, then I'll fight the, see, I already established this. It's like each finger is going to have its own gesture and things like that. But that's just not enough. You know, you need to nail the structure of the hand or else it's never going to, it's going to come out too wiggly. Everything needs to be a balance of gesture and solid construction, you know? So I guess to TLDR my answer, don't hope that gesture is going to bail you out of hands. You know, there's just, you got to build them. You got to build them out of blocks. James says, life is wonderful. Some fans tried to start drama between us the other day. They were claiming you were talking shit. What the fuck? To which I said, if Steven said it, I probably deserved it. He finds them via time travel. Don't believe the lies. Those little motherfuckers. Those little motherfuckers. Talking shit. What, on my stream? Jesus, I never talk about anybody, much less you. What'd they say? What'd they say? They just want to see you get riled up, Jamesy boy. What shit would I talk on the modern day James? He got too good too fast. He's too focused on his projects. He's got too casual an understanding of form and animation. That kind of shit talking? Hey, Steven, have you ever worked with ink? Yes. Like James said, yeah. I do it with some regularity. Ink's all right. Look, we all like ink. I knew it was a trap. You're too nice. I'm not a nice guy. I'm nice to you because I like you. I'm nice to you because I like you. I'm not actually a very nice guy. I don't know if I want to, what do I want to do with this? I don't know if I want to clean this up and do it with a little bit of pencil or if I want to ink it a bit. Lloyd Kujis says, nice, Steven is drawing. That's right. Behold, he draws on Mondays. Tuning in from work? Ooh, you bad boy, you delinquent. You truant. You better not have me full screen on your second monitor while you're working on your Excel sheet on your other monitor. You better not be doing that. Your boss is going to come by and be like, holy shit, that guy's incredible at drawing. What the fuck? I don't like ink. Is that a problem? Yeah. I hope that's not your real name. You can't be posting stuff like that using your real name, by the way. I really hope that's not your real name, because the International Board of Licensure for Excellent Draftsmen will dig that up when it's time for you to do your application. And they're not going to like that. That one comment alone could keep you from getting your license. I really hope that's not your real name, man. I know that we all got to talk stuff like that sometimes, like talk shop, but the board could easily find that. Do that under an anonymous handle on Reddit or something like that. Don't say that, because the board watches my streams, obviously, because they're the most important, most significant drawing streams in the history of the world. So they got eyes on this. You let me know if you want me to delete that comment. I can delete it for you, just to watch out for you, you know? How often do you paint, if at all? Do you ever feel like, this would look better if I paint it? I do paint digitally very, very often. But I haven't painted in like oils or something like that in a very long time. I do paint with watercolor very, very frequently. That I still do a lot. I do want to get back into oils. It's been a long time since I've done them. I did them a lot back in my college years, but I just need to set up a space for them, because you know, it takes a little bit of setup, a little bit of space. You need to ventilate it and stuff like that. Okay, good. Kalk Klalik says, I shall go to the store right away. Good. I mean, I like ink. Good. Right. Yeah, just a typo. Just a typo. Yeah, delete all except the last message, please. Yeah, 1 second. 1 second. All right. Deleted that. All right, you're good, bud. I got you covered. You're good. I need a piece of paper for shit. Where's that? Give me 1 second. I got a sketchbook that I actually stole from Modern Day James that I use for my under my hand scrap pieces of paper. Johnny Pearson says, your stream helped me get past stern critiques when I was still a beginner from my college figure drawing teacher about drawing in general. He meant well, but at my level at the time, I misunderstood him. I'm glad to have been able to provide a little bit of a palliative care there, for sure. I know it's hard when you're dealing with teachers. I mean, they've all got different outlooks and things like that. Not all of them mean well. A lot of them are, you know, sitting there as teachers kind of resentfully. That's not good. I actually don't know how this paper will take the ink. I don't usually ink on this paper. Let me move my microphone a bit. Can't believe he draws on Mondays. It's true, man. I know, I'm a pretty unbelievable guy. Kind of has a soft, fuzzy feeling. It's not horrible. It's actually kind of a nice look. Just 606 says, it's too late to delete comments. I have all you non-ink lovers' names written down already. It's too late. Now you guys got to go after 606. You're in big trouble. You boys are in big trouble. Hi, Mel. You're very kind. I read your message, but I'm not going to read it out loud because it's going to sound like I'm totally narcissising out on myself. I don't want to just sit here and read your comment about how you love me and I'm your favorite teacher and the best art teacher in the world. I don't want to just like say that in my voice because it just sounds kind of lame, you know? So I'm just going to not say it. Wasn't someone asking if I work in ink at all? Here we are. And you know the board of International Badass Draftsman Licensure is going to love this. They're like, that's good. He's fulfilling his requirements. It's going down a little thick, the ink on this paper, but whatever. We're just sketching, right? Stephen, what is the cure for trash gestures? You got to loosen up. That's all it is. You got to look yourself in the mirror very seriously and ask yourself why you're afraid of drawing curvy lines. The problem people have with gesture, if it's all too stiff, is always just that they're spooked. They're scared of the little drawing demon who lives on the other side of the white void of the paper. And you got to look at that little drawing demon and be like, you ain't shit, buddy. You're not real. And I might be having some schizophrenic delusions. So I'm going to start drawing freely and chilling about it. All right? And you're saying that to yourself in the mirror 40, 50 times a day. If you want to be good at art. Love you too, Yoga. Nice burbs. Steven, do you have a favorite art tool you can't live without? A specific pencil or type of paper? Just, you know, the HB graphite pencil. I don't know what I'd do if the Council of Licensure for Badass Draftsmen revoked my Class D license for using an HB pencil. I don't know what I'd do. I don't know what I'd do on that obsidian obelisk that they have in the middle of the Grand Conclave. I don't know what I would plead to those shadowy figures, backlit by strong, cool temperature LED lights. I don't know what words I could form as my tears splashed sadly to the ground. Could I ask for mercy? Invoke a favor? Could I have one of the great masters advocate for me? What would it take? Please. Please. Just don't take my pencils. Lack says, damn it, Steven. I was supposed to record a video presentation tomorrow, but I've been tempted by your devilish guile. That's what I do. I often tempt. But look, you got to do your presentation. Or do you? Oh no, I don't know if I should be a bad influence or a good influence. I mean, look, you got to evaluate the situation. You got to figure out for yourself if it's okay for you to not do your presentation. And if it is, just don't worry about it. Just draw. Blow off school, blow off work. Drawing is its own reward. I'm just kidding. Be responsible. I mean, do the things you took upon yourself, you know? Steven, I'm drawing fan art of you again? My God. You're very sweet, Hubs. I'm sure there's other things in the world that could use your fan art more than me, but I am flattered. I did immediately save that one that you did of me. Quitting my job. Thanks, Steven. No problem. You're welcome. Enjoy your freedom. Lack Asalam says, my girlfriend and I almost broke up because I was drawing too much. If this ain't commitment, I don't know what is. Damn. You know, it's a fine line. It's a fine line. I mean, would she have tried to break up with you if you were banking too much? What if you were day trading too much? Because if it's just that you would be spending too much time doing anything, then yeah, you know, sometimes you just got to commit. But if it's specifically she don't like that you're drawing of all things, if she'd be cool with you day trading all day, she'd be cool with you banking all day, she's wrong. That's just raw prejudice. That's all that is. Steven, do you have hobbies other than being a genius philosopher and mentor to all of us? Not really, no. I really just spend most of my time being a genius philosopher. It's my favorite thing to do. Whenever I get tired of being a genius philosopher, I just like honor people with my thoughts about things. Just my 2 cents, just throw it in there. They're always super thankful. They're always like, God damn, these 2 cents are worth like 10 cents. Silent Name says, Steven, why have you conjured this fish out of the ether just to exist on a flat piece of paper? I'm the demiurge like that. I don't know, dog. I'm just the demiurge like that, motherfucker. Stupid. You know, I'm just, you know, what worse thing can a person do than to bring something into this universe of karma and causality without asking its permission, without its consent? What more wretched devil is there in this world than I? And I do it many times a day. They'll all come for me someday. They will need to balance out the energetic debt in this corner of the universe. I will know when it's upon me. When all of my joy has turned to ashes in my mouth. I gotta move my keyboard so I can flip my paper around. Do you read a lot of books, says Anxious. I do like to read, but I don't know. I think the idea of reading a lot of books is probably a very relative thing. I do wish I could read more. But reading takes time. I do also tend to, I'm one of those people who reads more than one book at a time. That's how I prefer to read. So I've usually got like 2 or 3 that I'm consuming at once. Do you use the quill often? Not before. I only started using it recently. I was really more of a brush pen guy before, but I don't know, I just recently got interested in them. I wanted to practice with them a bit more. I haven't really done many drawings with the quill. When I say recently, I mean, I started using it again. Less than 6 months ago, very recently, just in the past few months. It's not like I'd never used them in the past before, I just never liked them. I feel like on these recent attempts, now I'm seeing what I can use them for, but I'm still no good with them. I just don't have a lot of mileage with these guys, but that's why you use them, to get better. Figure out the little problems. My preference for ink in the past has been felt tip pens, you know, just disposable stuff like Microns and Staedtler felt tip pigment liners, brush pens, and actually I draw a lot with the fountain pen that I have that is like a quill, you know, it's the same kind of a, you know, a splitting steel point, but it does feel like there's a difference. They don't feel like quite the same thing. I love the sound of the pen, yeah. The quills have a really nice, satisfying, happy little sound when they skate across the paper. Yeah, it takes a while to get used to the quills. You gotta build up the muscle memory for constantly doing the micro adjustment of rotating the quill a bit so that you're pulling it along the angle of the belly. Fishermen's, skeletons. How high can you jump? What a question. It's wild. It's an insane thing to ask an artist. Holy crap, how high can you jump? I don't know, I've never measured how high I can jump. Probably like NBA player level, I would say. If I had to guess. Say as high as an NBA player. Just feels right. See, if I go into this middle area right now, I just know I'm gonna smudge the stuff I put down here. Trash Arm says, hello, Steven. I'm watching the stream on the train. What do you think? Acceptable. Perfectly acceptable. It's on the list of acceptable locations from which to enjoy the stream. You ain't got to worry about it. You're totally in the clear. But don't let anybody look over your shoulder and see what you're watching. You never know who you're going to have next to you on the train. You get a real weirdo. They're gonna pop their head over the back of your headrest and be like, ah, is that an art stream that you're watching? You'll have to be like, no, obviously not. I would never watch that because that looks like an art stream. I don't know what you're... I'm gonna switch seats. I'm gonna tell the conductor. No, don't. Please don't. Please don't. I was hate watching it. You know? I'm educating myself. I had to see, what are these guys up to? These assholes, these artists. Uh-huh. I think you were liking it. No. I would never. Yes, he does still have a belly button because he was born from a human womb. It's just the way it goes, folks. That's world building right there. It's not me just drawing a belly button out of muscle memory. It's world building. Clowns. Steven, I have this addiction, which is to zoom in all the time when I'm drawing. Even when I draw traditional, I shove my face onto the paper. Any tips? I mean, if it makes you happy when drawing traditional, I don't think there's any big problem with it. It is more of a problem with digital because it messes with your line weights because you're not looking at the line weights that are around the whole picture. But even as long as you're aware of it and you're sort of like willing to fix it later on in the process, I don't think that's that big of a deal. If you're not willing to fix it later on in the process, it can be a very big deal. You just do all the line weights. If you spend all your time in digital zoomed in, if you're doing line work, you tend to just put every line weight all over the place. You got thick, thin, and medium lines in every little area, and there's no like, the hierarchy is not really left clearly established in order to guide the eye or pop off silhouettes on the picture as a whole. And, you know, this is a sin. This is a sin considered unforgivable by the official board of licensure for badass draftsmen. And if they ever find out that you did it, you're going to lose a ranking, or at least a sub-ranking. We wouldn't want that now, would we? Thou drawest on Mondays. I do. Gaze ye. See the true artist. Behold, he draws on Mondays. Hands are so hard, even AI can't do it right. They can do it right now. You'll only ever notice the bad ones. I'm pushing too many strokes, I think. I want to get a few more wiggly wagglies, so I gotta get used to hooking some things onto themselves, or else I'm just never gonna do it. This fish man looks mighty yummy. He's a yummy, yummy fish man. Could serve him right up in a seafood restaurant. Serve him right up, feed me that fish man. Serve him right up, give me that fish man. Serve him right up, give me that sentient fish man. On a big, chintzy silver platter, with a useless kale on the side to dress him, and a tomato. Give me the fish man, serve me the fish man. Easy, Nick. Easy, boy. Whoa there. Whoa there, ravioli. Easy there, boy. That's all right. That's all right. Easy. Easy. That's it. That's it. There you go. There you go, ravioli. See? No need to be so intense. Wow, you're a big one, ain't you? Sorry, I was reading a cowboy story the other day. This could use some bigger black shapes, but too lazy to go get my brush pen. That's the issue. Steven, are you excited for the Silent Hill 2 remake? I have not, I've never played Silent Hill. So no. I cannot say I'm excited. Silent Hill just passed me by as a youth. I just never wound up engaging with it. Considering my enjoyment of horrific things, I really should have tried it, huh? I was too busy playing Resident Evil. John OQ says, I'm trying to draw 4 arms, but I can only draw 2 arms. I just want you to know that's a bannable offense around here. Jokes like that, they ain't gonna fly. I'm gonna let you off with a warning, but things could get very dire for you if you keep that up. Let that dry for a second before I go in the middle. There's an unwritten rule in literature that for every cowboy that exists, so too shall a pack of Marlboro Reds. Indeed, partner. I like this song. What's its name? Let's see what was playing. Death on Mars. Death on Mars by Etienne Roussel. Is it sketchy if someone wants to pay with check as payment for a commission online? I would normally say no, but there's been a scam going around recently where people are, I forget how the scam works, but there is a check scam with paying artists for commissions lately. Someone in the chat will probably remember the specifics. It's like they say they've got some problem with their bank, so they've got to send you a check that's for too much, and then they just ask you to then send them back the difference, but then the check never clears and then you're out the difference. Something like that. Is Quill good to learn? It's up to you. It's up to you. It is completely up to you. What kind of noise does he make with those big cheeks? It's probably something like probably something like that. Like it's probably something like that. Nick Raviolo says, I enjoy the supernatural aspect of Silent Hill's horror over Resident Evil's biological horror. But it's only by a narrow margin. You see? You see, folks? I'm not so bad. I'm not so bad. My dog jumped, sorry. I'm scared that you could make that noise. I could make all sorts of noises. You got no idea what I got in here. Speaking of quills and birds, my hiking buddy lost 12 roosters for cockfighting last week. It's a wild sentence. You sound like the Yargulians I'm blasting right now. Beast! Foul beast! Foul beast. I'll get you. Sorry, Fanny. Look, you're way too early for cookies. You're a half hour off. Fix your times. Get your head on straight. I know you're a little dog. No, don't go sitting there. You make me nervous when you sit there. Go to bed. Go to bed. Got a little piece of paper on the tip of my quill. Gonna dump it here. Oh, that's interesting. I'm getting finer lines on this paper than I am on this one. I was noticing that. I think the ink bleeds out a little bit too much on this paper. I can't quite get a line as fine as I'm getting on other papers. Watched a bunch of your live streams. What happened to the other dog, that little furry boy? That's my in-laws dog. I'll have her again in the next couple weeks, actually. Yeah, I only have one dog, but I watch my in-laws dog all the time. Little Winnie pup. My dog's Fanny and that dog's Winnie. That's always more stressful for streaming though, because Winnie has to go to the bathroom more often than Fanny. So that always puts me on tighter clocks. Like, Fanny, I can stream. Damn it. There we go. I tried. Smudged it all over. You know, that's the tough thing about ink on something like a stream. It's like you get impatient because you're live on the internet and then you smudge your ink all over the place. This ink in particular too doesn't dry the fastest. Silvio Pina with $2. Thank you so much, Silvio Pina. Sending me lemon love. That's incredible. I'm your little lemon. What can I say? What can I say? I'm your little lemon. Thank you for the $2. I'll turn it into $2 worth of delicious something. That you can be sure of. Dude, I cannot work with you watching like that. Go to bed. Sometimes she just stares at me while I work. She's like, if I just do this for long enough, something happens. They either give me a cookie or take me to the bathroom. Those smudges aren't the biggest problem, of course. I could just get white out, which I don't have, or white paint of any sort, like white gouache, and just fix them. It's not a big deal. I'm just way too lazy to get my paint. Way too lazy to go to my drawers and get my paint. No, and then I'd have to pick out a brush. Fuck that. No way. There's no way I'm picking out a brush. No. Because then I gotta go get a bowl of water to clean my brush, and then I'll forget about it, and all the paint will cake on it, and I'll have to throw it out and log it in my accounting as destroyed supplies for tax purposes. I know, you love what I know it. I know you have to say hi to me every time I sing, but I know you're just my little dog, but you gotta go. You gotta go. You can't be staring at me like that. Let's sketch something else. Let me just rub off a bit of the ink on here so it doesn't have as much to dry. Actually, I think it'll hold. I think it'll dry that quick. Just got here. That looks so cool. Thank you so much. Is he eating on the run? Totes. Absolutely. Absa-spinny-f, do not know, alutely. Hey, Steven, back to the roots. This raw art will survive no matter what and much more appreciated than before. Well, I don't know about much more appreciated than before, but it'll certainly survive. We'll see. Arctic Monkey says, how should one do figure drawings? I feel like mine either come out too plain and gestury or just stiff and anatomical. How do I bridge this gap? How do I draw like Claire Wendling? If you figure out how to draw like Claire Wendling, let me know. Let me know. Yeah, I mean, there couldn't possibly be an easy answer to that, because to answer that well, or that is to say, to be able to enact it, would, I mean, that's the journey of being a great draftsperson. It's like, once you've got that, you've got it. It's going to be tough. But you've got the answer built in there. It's just you have to work for a really long time, a lot of your life, on finding the balance between looseness and structure. And a lot of looseness comes from knowing the energy behind what you're trying to communicate, like the tensions and energies in particular poses and movements and intentionalities and things like that. Also, I think a lot of looseness comes from understanding the abstract qualities of art, like just the nature of shapes, cool shapes, just the nature of values and the way that certain arrangements affect us. I actually think that stuff contributes a lot to looseness, because once you have it in the abstract, it makes you, it sort of changes your brain. You're like, right, I get it. It is an abstraction, so I don't need to seize up and like draw perfectly or hit a particular mark or something like that. So I think that helps you stay loose. And then the solidity, the structure of it really is just, you need to know the forms you're presenting inside and out, you know? You've got to have a very clear mental conception of them. No, I don't like those things. I like it being bigger, but what are those goddamn things on a... Let me look up like a manta ray or a stingray right quick. Okay, those things really so sort of featureless and abstract. They do twist. And they can kind of become, oh, they can kind of twist up on themselves and become like little kneaded eraser points. I guess they're just for funneling food into the mouth, huh? Weird meaty bastards. Those kinds of things never look good in a drawing. I shouldn't even put that in there. Just like a featureless meat flap like that. Yes, I know featureless meat flap is a good name for a band. We all know that. We all get it. Janosch, how are you, man? What's up? Light and volume are the same thing in my opinion, says Soko. I agree. I agree. Do you think drawing skills span all mediums? Yeah. I think drawing skills can span all of life, honestly, if we were to get really weird about it. It's like at a certain point, if you're talking about going to a certain level of drawing well, you need to have sort of broken down false barriers to perception from the sort of silty scrim that the humdrum Monday morning mind likes to overlay on reality. You need to have deleted a bit of that. And then you will have also gained insight into design and sort of why shapes speak to us in particular ways, and then you'll see that while you're just out at the park or making sandwiches or arguing with your wife or something like that. So I think it does affect us deeply. You become a pretty good liar manipulator if you become a good drawer. Yeah, totally. Totally. Steven, are you the artist manipulative sad boy that ruins girls' lives? No. I hope not. I don't think my wife would say I've ruined her life, but you know, let's always leave ourselves open for surprises. You know, if we hit her with that question kind of directly, you know, straight up, honest, safe space, you never know. Maybe she'd be like, yeah, now that you mention it, you did ruin my fucking life, you fucking asshole. It's like, shit. Tell them how you really feel. Dude, what is it? What is it? What is it? Look, we gotta figure this out. What is it? You peed, you pooped, big poop, substantial poop, I would say. You had your breakfast. You had your little dental dust on your breakfast, your favorite little cranberry thing. You got your bones out there. You know you're 20 minutes early for your cookie. What is this? What is it, little pup? What is the best way to study animal anatomy? I mean, if you really want to get into the anatomy, comparative is the way to go. Like, just understand all of the morphology based on kind of like what a person's anatomy would be if they were in that position. That's like the best way to go. But I think really animals have so much variety, and so much of them is really not about the anatomy, that I think you worry less about learning their anatomy and just draw animals. Just draw a lot of animals. It's like the face. Like, the face isn't like the rest of the body. For the rest of the body, the anatomy is almost everything that you need to understand to draw a body well. We're talking muscles, bones, things like that. But the face, so much of what's important about the face is just not muscles or bones. You know, all of the muscles, the facial expression muscles that are on the face, like, you can know all the names and where they go, and if you draw them on a face, you'll ruin the drawing. You know, there's just more important things about the face than just the humdrum anatomical facts. I think that a lot of animals are that same way. It's about their energy. I think Ray Bustos has a class about transformational anatomy or something like that. Yeah, I took it. Steven, you said something on stream or video, I can't remember, that there is a psychological factor when drawing faces. Care to explain? I mean, there's too many psychological factors while drawing faces, is probably what I meant. It's like they're very, they're a center for emotion, you know, they're not actually a center for like a form or anatomy or anything like that. Those things are involved there, and if you want to draw them great, you'll have to reckon with that at some point. But first and foremost, the face is a center for emotion, and we feel implicated by faces, which is just not how we are with other parts of the body, unless you're really insecure about like not having abs, and then every time you see a sick pair of shredded abs, you get all insecure about it and you start being self-reflexive about it. But with faces, every face we see, we're sort of implicated somehow, you know, we're in relationship to them. So it's less about there being a specific psychological thing that can be said, but it's more just as an artist, you need to understand that the psychology is sort of running roughshod over the whole thing, and that you need to temper your expectations of what you can get out of a face from just reproducing the anatomy or just reproducing the shapes of light and shadow and things like that. And you need to respect that those things are always going to be secondary to raw emotion. I gotta move these valves. I don't like where they're at. Mizubi says, do you think it would be a good idea to study what interests me besides art and then pay for a course like yours in place of an official art education? Well, I'm going to remove anything about like my course in particular from the equation, but yeah, it just depends what kind of artist you want to be, I think. If you want to be an idea artist, you know, which, look, we're opening a can of worms there, but I think a lot of you are going to know what I kind of mean by that. If you want to be an artist who's known for their ideas, I think what you described is actually a pretty good way to go. As long as you actually keep up with your practice, as long as you don't completely sink away into doing other things, I think it's a pretty good idea to just learn more about the world and learn about other things that interest you. Where's my other pencil sharp case? But it's not a good idea if you're not going to keep up, if you're not going to actually draw. Then that's problematic. I mean, you know, problematic in the sense that you will have just discovered that, you know, you actually have other priorities. It's like, it's a problem for the art, but it's not necessarily a problem for your life, right? But there's other kinds of artists that you might want to be, like an industry dog or a person who's known for a particular high level of technique or something like that. Or you just want to go into a more niche field. Like, let's say you want to be, the kind of artist you want to be is you want to be a 3D animator who animates models in a 3D animation rigging program or something like that. I think for that, it's actually more worth your time to go through an official art education, not because you'll necessarily learn better things, but because a lot of the networking stuff will be handled for you. It's like the networking really is so much bang for your buck, unless you go to a really expensive school. If you go to a modestly priced school, the networking is a lot of bang for your buck, because it's really hard for people to do it otherwise on their own, and it's so important. I mean, you'll just make friends automatically. You'll all be sort of going out into the world together at the same time. You'll all give each other jobs and stuff like that. So it depends what kind of artist you want to be. It's like, that's not as important if you want to be like a sort of lone dog illustrator and just known for your style, and you know, you don't want to be lost behind a corporate paywall. You want to be, you know, known, popular, known for your particular ideas and things like that. If you know that's what you want, all of the networking stuff can almost work against you at a certain degree, because people are going to keep offering you opportunities that actually sort of veer you off course for your goals. Weird as it is to say. But most people don't. You got to be, in order to really classify opportunities as sort of veering you off course, you've got to be really sure about what you want to do, what you want to be, and most people are not. Definitely are not. Art school is great for art friends, but these days it matters less and less your papers and academic letters and more your portfolio ability. Yeah, to be clear, as I've said other times, like the connections and friends that you make, it's not going to mean anything if you're not good, if you don't develop the skills. But, you know, your friends will also help you improve. And we're talking in the context here of someone who would have gone to school. So ostensibly, you know, there's plenty of bad art schools out there, but let's assume they go to one that actually teaches good stuff. You got to be really ready to do a lot of legwork on your own, though. That's almost inevitable. I just saw Tar. Sturvin, what's your take on separating art from the artist? I don't know. I think that's an interesting philosophical question. I think it would be foolhardy to feel like you have a correct answer about that. I think the idea of death of the author as a philosophical position, I just don't think it's a robust one to take all the time. I think, like so many things in life, it's case to case, you know? And that's what makes it fun. Like, if we look at an absurdum case of it, like, what if someone was accused of a murder and they made a movie where they detail a hypothetical murder exactly like what they were accused of doing? Like, I don't know, let's say like if O.J. Simpson did that with If I Did It, would that be an appropriate time to uphold your rigorous position on death of the author, that they should always be separated? It's like, no. In that case, I think any rational person would be like, this is connected to reality, you know, and we have to work out the implications here. I think it's just case to case. I like Tar, though. Yeah, I did enjoy it. I thought Tar was good. I was like, yes, Tar good. Silence, dog. I brought you into this world. I can take you out of it. I'm your father. I'm your biological father. You think I won't take you out of this world? Don't you dare bark. Whoops. Looks like the ink did indeed dry on my pen a little bit. Well, let's just see if we can keep working with it. I can always go wash the tip out or do that later and just grab a new nib. Let's see if it behaves. Rafiki Real. Any advice for someone who wants to become an illustrator? Draw, draw, draw. Draw and don't waste time. And if you want to be specifically an illustrator, not like a designer or something like that, then really spend a lot of time reflecting on what you like and trying to figure out why you like it, so that you can arrive at a personal voice as soon as possible, something identifiable that when people see the work, they're like, ah, yeah, that's them. Sorry guys, we got leaf blowers going on in the my neighbor's yard. So you'll probably hear him humming away for a while. Let me put the music a little louder. I always forget that this is about the time they come on Mondays. Why is finding my artist's voice so difficult? Two things. You probably don't know what you want. You don't know who you are or what you want, which is that ain't your fault. And two, society is making it easy for you to not know who you are or what you want. So equal blame on both parties and figure it out. If you knew what you wanted, if you knew what you loved, if you knew what your goal was, you wouldn't even be asking about your voice, you know? Leaf blowers already. There's still 3 feet of snow in my neck of the woods. I think that neighbor just has a lot of they've got a big garden over there. A lot of trees, always shedding stuff and things like that. But also, damn them. The hell are they doing? Don't they know I'm live on the internet? Pissing me off with these ignorant leaf blowers. Don't they know I'm live on the internet? I'm gonna burst into their home. Like, I know you're watching my stream. Everybody in the world does, so I know you're watching it. How dare you have your leaf blower people come? Can you guys even hear it? I don't know what the mix is like on it right now. I don't know if you guys can actually even hear it. The Fishman looks like he would be very good at giving directions. He is. All roads lead to Relais. Tricky overlaps there to not let any part of the meat flap feel too closed off. Tricky little overlaps. Can't hear it over the leaf blowers here, says Soko. That's funny. Steven, not sure if you do it often, but do you have any advice on drawing from a live model for the first time? I do it often. The advice that I usually give is take advantage of the fact that it's a real object. The person in this case is a real object in the room. So as much as you can, I would switch, especially early on when you're a young artist, I would switch positions in the room often. I mean, even on the same pose, like not pose to pose, like walk around the model every time you encounter a part of the model. Especially I found this on areas that recede, like something that you're looking at sort of edge on, like very foreshortened, let's say a shoulder blade where there's a lot of complicated muscular overlaps that make absolutely no fucking sense when you're seeing them all edge on. When you encounter an area like that on the live model, don't just sit there confused and give up the way that you must when you're looking at a photograph. Get your ass up and walk around the model. Look at what the forms there actually are. You'll be amazed at how much is revealed when that form rotates that you can look at it front on. See the actual map of how those forms are structured. It'll blow your mind. If you're a true artist, it'll blow your mind. You'll be like, oh shit, that one's in front of that one, and that one's behind that one, and that one slides under this one. And then walk back to your table where you were and invent a foreshortened answer to the problem that includes the insights that you gained from looking at the model from the other side. This is the true secret of great draftsmanship here. I tell you this. I tell you this. I used to do that all the time at Life Drawing. If you're just gonna stay put in your seat and be happy with every random view that you get in the class, it's like you might as well just be looking at a photograph and have somebody ripping the pencil out of your hand every time the timer goes off. It's like, you're paying for it, ain't you? Go get your info. Go get better. Go learn. And you'll see, when you first start doing that, you'll be the only person in the class doing it. People might give you a bit of a weird look, like the pretentious dickbag. And then when they see your drawings getting better, suddenly everybody will be getting up and moving around the mountain. They're like, I'm cool too. I'm super serious about drawing. Yeah. Which is, of course, very uncool. It's only the first person who does it who can actually learn from it and is allowed to learn from that. It's very uncool, everybody who copies that idea. Deeply, deeply uncool. I've been to many a Life Drawing in my life. I think everybody who is interested in drawing organic things should do it. I still go. I still go. I say that like I'm 90 or something. Like, I still go to Life Drawing. Like, I'm 32. It doesn't... Of course I still go to Life Drawing. No, I lost the beat. Damn it. I didn't design the shapes well there. Oh, well. Live and you learn. I blacked out too much. And once again, I'm far too lazy to go get white paint. And it is this laziness that will ultimately undo me. It is this laziness that will always, always hold me back. I wish I had a Life Drawing class near me. I live out in the sticks. You got to get a full-length mirror and you got to look at yourself naked. Hate to say it. Hate to say it, but you got to look at yourself naked. You got to get down to your skivvies, pose in front of the mirror. You're like, yeah, oh, so that's how that muscle bulges up when I do this. Yeah, all right. There's a great book by Salvador Dali. A lot of people haven't heard of it. Salvador Dali did a painting tutorial book called 50 Secrets of Magic Craftsmanship. And it's a genius book because every tip, all 50 tips. Oh, damn. That's my brother. I gotta call him back. All 50 tips Damn it, I lost my train of thought. Wait, hold on. Let me message him right quick. Give me a second. Did I send that to the right number? I did. All right. What the heck was I saying? I completely lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Something stupid, I'm sure. All right. 50 Secrets of Magic Craftsmanship. Every tip in the book, when you first read it, sounds like a joke. And you're like, yeah, that makes sense because it's Salvador Dali. And then when you read the chapter, just through his because he's Salvador Dali, just through his insanity and his ingenuity, he convinces you that it's actually a real art tip, even though it's totally insane. So like one of them, for example, is why all artists must paint naked for the first parts of the sketch. And you're like, that's obviously stupid. And then he tells you across 10 pages why you must begin your drawings while naked yourself so that you can analyze the anatomy on yourself whenever you have a question. Very, very funny. And he does that for all the tips. They're all neurotic and ridiculous. And then by the end of it, you're like, yeah, I guess I have to grow a giant mustache. One of the tips is why every great painter must have a large mustache. And I forget the reason for that one. I think the large mustache was when you bring your head close to the painting, the mustache collects errant particles of dust that would otherwise settle in the varnish and that you would have to remove with tweezers. Great fun book. I don't know if it's a rare find these days, but if you ever encounter it, it's a fun read. Also, what a name for an art book. 50 Secrets of Magic Craftsmanship. He was the best, man. He was the best. There you go. Just throw it in one go, whatever. For long, lazy lines like that, there's nothing to it but to just throw it sometimes, you know. See, I'm totally gonna smudge this when I come at it over here, down here. Yeah, I could do it upside down like this. Smudging is good for the soul, only with pencil. I know the smudges I like. I like smudges in pencil, but I don't like smudges in ink. Unless you're doing them on purpose. Unless you're using them to make values. It's It's the intentionality that counts. I don't know how much I actually want a vignette off over there at the edge of the design. Steven, you never told us what pig scene made you cry. The climax. Typical. I don't want to describe the scene because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I forget what I meant here. Did I want all this to be neck? I think so. Steven, what's your favorite painting medium? I think watercolor. I'm no good with it, but I love it. Love watercolor. I need to let this dry for a bit because now I got wet lines all over the place. Just let it dry for a minute. Just a little minute. Lax says, Steven, what ignited the furnace of your passion for drawing fleshy blobs and nude, ripped men? What ignited it? Probably just my first exposure to the work of the Renaissance and things like that. Seeing the working drawings of Michelangelo and all that. I think that's what pushed me to really want to get good at that stuff. Yeah. The blob stuff, the monsters and things like that, I think that's just influence from growing up with video games and things like that. A lot of monsters and beasts in video games. You know how it be. That guy low-key thick. It's only thick monsters around here. Let me wave this around a bit so it dries a little faster. Just wave it like this. As many likes as stream participants. This is what I call a dedicated community. Is that true? Incredible. How nice everybody here is. I'm always impressed by how dedicated this community is. Steven, your videos have inspired me to get a battery-operated pencil sharpener. Best thing ever. Good for you, Gablinks. I'm so happy for you. Mine plugs in. Mine doesn't have batteries, but I actually think a lot of the battery-operated ones tend to be better. Some of the best pencil sharpeners I've used have been battery operated, but I just hate batteries. What a weird thing to hate, right? I just hate them. I just hate batteries. Is that the Predator's cousin? No. Anna Rude says, Stephen, at different times of my life, non-artist friends and people have said some beautiful stuff about art practice that I could never think of myself. I find it amazing every time I think about it. People love art. People do love art. And it's an enchanting and wonderful thing. Oh, we're all art fans here. Mine is hand cranked. That's so hipster. So hipster and cool of you. Hello, fellow battery hater. I just hate him. I just got a new TV that finally has a remote that doesn't have batteries. And I'm like, this is a huge, huge quality of life improvement. To just have a remote that I can plug into a USB and charge it instead of getting AA's. It even has a solar panel on the bottom. So if I leave it out upside down long enough, it'll just charge from light in the room. It's like, dude, why did it take so long to get here? What are we doing? Stephen, why do you shrivel up into a raisin every time you're exposed to heat? Stop spreading slander like that. Who's spreading these calumnies about me? I do not shrivel like a raisin. It's ridiculous. I get coppered smooth by the sun, planished by him, the great smith, who makes glowing men like me. Humans have stored energy. You can't prove that. You can't prove that. I'd like to see the white paper on that. I stick to X-Acto knives for some years now. See, some people have an incredible level of patience that just can't be denied. That's next level. You must be making those really long points that the nerds like to make, right? All those Watts Atelier nerds, all those French Academy nerds, they like to make those long knife points. Really long, sharp pencil, little needle. Stab the paper. Nerds. They work. They actually do. They actually do something. I've never found, for me personally, I don't find, in the cost-benefit analysis, I've never been able to make it balance, you know? It's too much time spent sharpening, not enough time spent drawing. I like volume, 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 volume. The more I think about it, the more I realize that no matter what I tell myself, at least 90% of my time and thoughts go to art. I think these other interests might just be inspiration. Yeah. You got an artist's heart. You got an artist's heart. Steven, what non-horror movie scene scared you the most? The midpoint in Parasite scared the shit out of me. Dude, you read John Milton, nerd? I am not a nerd. You're the nerd. Everybody knows that. Milton is for jocks, dude. Fucking football linebackers are reading Milton on the scrimmage line. Don't fuck around. It is hard to distinguish interest from inspiration. That is, I think, the crux of my dilemma, because not either is right or wrong. Yeah, I mean, I think we live in a society now where we're very obsessed with delineation. You know, we're very focused on everybody does one thing and that's your area of expertise and that's what you do. And it's very difficult to get like society and culture behind you on sort of just being broad-based and doing a lot of things. And I think that that's damaging for artists, because I think that the delineations that we would try to make, saying this is when you're making art and this is when you're this is when you're living your life and this stuff is unrelated to art and things like that, I think all of that stuff is made up. I think that if you're an artist and you're really engaging your art deeply in your life, everything leaks into it. And that can seem self-serving or silly when other people see it from the outside. But, you know, other artists and all we'll all agree. We all understand things like that. Like, there's so much stuff that it's like, so many times my wife has like walked in to me reading like, I don't know, just random news articles or something like that. And she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm working. She's like, this is work? And I'm like, I'm potentiating the subconscious, Deirdre. This is all going to get involved with the work somehow. It doesn't always, but it's just like, if an artist is reacting to their world and to the things that interest them, it's naturally going to spill out into everything. Nate G says, it's also not true for non-artists. Most people change careers and specialties multiple times in their life. Yeah. All those boundaries are made up. We're all constantly transforming. We're all mixing everything together. Can't believe him. Have you seen The Lion King about Al Hirschfeld? I have not. I've seen his work. The Lion King. I love when artists build their little legends about themselves. He's the king of lines. Al Hirschfeld, king of lines. Yo, what's this funky beat that just dropped in my playlist? Truly the funkiest of beats. Let's see, did I smudge already? No, we're all right. Steven can be a jazz singer, just scatting all the time, just scoobity appa tap pop 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 rimini scoop bam diddly do. I could do that for a living, for sure. I could do that for an absolute living, and for a good living, not for like a meager just scraping by living, but like a stunting on everybody kind of a living. Big flex, big flex. I got a lot of paper on my pen tip here. Hold on, I gotta clean my pen. It's gonna be a disaster. Yep. It's shaping up to be a disaster. All right. How's your doggy? She's good, man. Her life is so easy, it's ridiculous. Dogs have no idea how good they have it. But you know what? Damn it. Now I'm sticking my hand in these damn ink blobs. My working environment is covered in landmines here. I could hit an ink blob at any moment. suppose this is the discipline part. Practicing different mediums. I'm right on the edge. I'm in the danger zone. I can tell something's about to go wrong. I'm about to smear ink all over the place. I don't like it. It doesn't look good. Talk to me, Goose. What pen is that? This is just a, this is a normal, the typical G pen. Is that what they're called? This is G quills. All the major companies have their own version of the G manga nib style thing. This is the, shit, which one is this? I think this is the Kuretaka G nib. Will I improve faster if I work in a studio environment with other better artists? Yeah, probably. There is also, it's a bit of a double-edged sword because yes, it's almost inevitable that you will improve faster, but you will also be pulled into a particular direction. It's like, if you're gonna get the drive to compete with them, and to want to all be on the same level and stuff like that and learn from each other, you're inevitably, your tastes and your opinions and what you focus on in art, it's going to converge, you know? So it's a very useful thing, but there's also a quality of it narrowing you slightly. So you just got to analyze how much of that you want. Because if the trade-off is you're not narrowed, but you also don't effing work, you don't make anything because you don't feel like a reason to do it, then that's not a worthy trade-off. If you could implant cybernetic parts to your body, would you? No, not unless I needed to. At least I don't think so. Depends how good these parts are. Hey Steven, thoughts on graffiti? Do you consider it art, vandalism, both? I think it can be both. There's some situations where it's vandalism and some situations where it isn't. It's definitely art though. Okay, now you're right. Now it is time for your cookie. Now I've overshot by 20 minutes. I'll be right back. I mean, I can't do this to her. I mean, she's got to have her cookie. It's unfair, the idea that she wouldn't have her cookie. I'll be right back. Who's that, Steven? It's Gamghoul Steven! How you holding up out there, Stave? I'd say considering I'm fighting a Steven who doesn't draw, I'm doing all right, really. Ha! Just try to keep everyone entertained while you try to keep your head. I need more time in Cathar Stevens' palace. I know the god graphite is here. Somewhere in here. If I only knew where. Hey, no rush, man. I got this guy on the ropes. Trust me.
Yeah! Lucina Thunder. Duneja Marido. Dunya. Nanyata da Giata.
What?
What? It's Incanthia, great sword of the Black Fountain. He really does have it.
Yeah. Nitroya. Nitsuyo Tufu. Gimya Tanta. Ata.
This is a dream of Stephen. Steve, are you there?
Stephen, you got to the ship. How do you get past the blockades?
Nothing the dream couldn't handle. But they're on me, and we're coming in hot. I'm gonna get you out of there. Do I have clearance to murder some citizen Stevens as I strafe the arena?
Soon, but not yet. Sturvin needs more time in the palace to find the god graphite. If you attack now, all the guards watching my execution will rush back to the palace to secure Cathar Stephen. So give him the runaround until I get word from Sturvin. The god graphite! Finally! Oh, it's beautiful. Whoa, yes. Come to Sturvin. Hold on. No need to rush there, little Stephen. You and I both know Stave wouldn't want you to get sloppy and spill any of that, would he?
All right, my dog got her cookie. I've got my cookie. My precious peanut butter filled pretzels. It's a shame though, when she sees me that I get my snack, she plows through her treat so she can post up and try to get a bit of this. Come to Sturvin. All right, let's keep going here. Let's figure out what we want out of this. My dog walked off in a huff when I closed the pretzels without giving her any. She's just like that. Don't worry about her. Nate says, do you have any euphemisms for stuff that your dog will get too hype about if you say the real thing? For example, I have to say bird meat instead of chicken or Track will go crazy. Just the usual ones. Like we spell out the thing that we need to talk about. She really doesn't like, she really doesn't like if you say, uh-oh. I don't know how she developed that association, but if you say, uh-oh, she thinks something's gonna happen. Like someone's gonna burst through the door. Something's going to fall. You say that, she starts freaking out immediately. there's anything you do when you felt lonely, probably in early years when you didn't have family and such and just grinding. I was always really bad at like, definitely in my early years, when I felt lonely, I would just try to work through the pain. I didn't understand that the pain was loneliness. I would tell myself little lies like I'd be happier if I drew better or if my career was going and things like that. So I would just work through it, and that was stupid, but you got to learn these things. And I didn't consciously understand what I was doing to myself, you know? But it's a really, really dumb thing to do. And it's an unforgivable thing to do to yourself if you've reached a point of self-awareness about it. It's like, it just leads to burnout. It doesn't work, you know? You'd be making more work and better work if you were happier and more relaxed about it. So don't do that. That's what I would say. If you're lonely, call your friends, call your family. Just sit on the phone with them for a while. Now I call my friends. It took me a long time to get there. Because I'm one of those, you know, millennial types who just like, I'm not naturally a phone person. Like, I don't want to sit on the phone. I find it awkward, but for the sake of connection and maintaining relationships, I'm that guy. You know, I had to learn how to be that guy. I just call people for no reason, like, what's up? Got nothing to say, nothing to contribute. I was like, hey, what's going on? Talk to them for an hour. They're just like, did you need something? I'm like, nope. All right, see you. My solution to every problem is to draw more currently. Be careful with that. Those problems are still going to be there once you achieve whatever drawing goal you're headed towards. Damn dog hair in my ink. Be careful, friends. None of us get to avoid it. If you're in this for the long haul, at some point, you're gonna have to take care of yourself. You are gonna have to take care of yourself. Feels bad when they never pick up, though. Well, you know, people are very busy these days. Don't take it personally. Just call again. You know, people go through so many moods, you know. Call them again later. Catch them in the right mood. Why would they not be in the right mood for me? It's like, shut up. You're not special. I always try to remember, like, it's okay for my friends to not like me sometimes. They'll get over it. Well, sometimes they don't get over it, but... Hey, Steven, how are you? Your drawings look great. Thank you, Colin. I'm good. How are you? I did not plan out the anatomy in these areas at all, so I'm just gonna wing it and hope I find something weird and interesting. And if I don't find something weird and interesting, that's okay too. Because we move the goalposts around here. And my number one policy is to always find some rationalization for why I'm a winner. So we never lose. We're always the best. Hey, Stephen, how would you handle perfectionism when the very act of doing is what makes you anxious and stressed? Yeah, I think it's just, I think perfectionism and that anxiety of trying is really, not to sort of make it sound dismissive, but it is born of illusion. Like, just nothing goes wrong when you fuck up. Like, nothing goes wrong when you do a bad drawing. It's just a piece of paper. Nothing went wrong. You could mess it up as royally as possible, and nothing has gone wrong. Everything is a-okay. You're in a very safe space. So since that's the case, and that's obviously the case, that sort of reveals that the perfectionism is sort of a backwards viewpoint of things. It's, how to put it? I don't want this to sound mean. It's just like, sometimes people need to hear this. It's like, the perfectionism to the point that it paralyzes you from working, underneath it all is almost like a narcissistic assumption that you're supposed to be perfect, that you are, that for some reason, you, special you, should be able to execute on a level of perfection that impresses everyone. And that's just nonsense. You'll never get there. Even the best people don't impress everybody. And the people who do the best work in the world have worked psychotically hard at it. If you knew everything they had to put in to do it, you probably wouldn't want it. You'd be like, oh, I didn't know that's what it takes. Fuck that. I'm all right doing mediocre drawings. It's like, you don't know what that is, and you shouldn't expect that from yourself. What you should expect is what you have, what you already have. You should expect that you're going to make mistakes and that it's not a big deal, and that no one gets hurt when you make those mistakes, and that you haven't practiced enough to realistically expect a perfect execution from yourself. Forget realistically, it would be impossible for you to pull it off perfectly. Once you align with that, and some of that might be painful because, you know, people make art because they love good art, and it breaks their heart the idea that they would ever spend time on something that's not good. But it can be good. It can be good. It's just that it won't ever be perfect. And once you accept that, it's just the anxiety kind of rolls off, you know? It's like, oh yeah, forget it. If I was worried about, forget being perfect, but always drawing something impressive, or even good, what I would consider good, I wouldn't stream. You know, I wouldn't be sitting here drawing with people watching. Like, I know it's not just a possibility, it's guaranteed that I will crank out turkeys while people watch. And that's why I can do it. Just because I wouldn't be surprised by that. I'm not surprised when it happens. And because I know it's coming, when it does come, even with people watching, I'm just like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that's it. That's all. That's all that I need to experience there. On to the next one, you know? And that feeling is often, you know, your taste improves as the years go on, no matter what. So, I mean, I'm rarely impressed with my drawings. You know, I rarely think that I actually did one that I would say is like, one of my better ones. You know, that rarely happens. You know, I got to fish for those more and more and more as the years go on. Especially on stream. On stream, I rarely ever think I did something that's like good by the standards that I hold myself to. But it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's just not a big deal. There's other reasons to do it. Even just for me, forget the value that other people get out of me being here and watching me draw it and stuff like that. That would be enough, but there's also other values to it for me. Just for keeping contact time high with art, keeping my habits in line, making sure that my brain-body connection is always saying to me, like, yeah, we are a brain and a body that spends a considerable amount of time sitting in a chair drawing, just like not letting my body and my mind forget that. All of those things are being done by me working. It's got nothing to do with doing perfect or great drawings. Great White Sufi says, do you think the World Tree is one of your better drawings? I think it came out very charming, which might be a weird thing to say about such a strange drawing. I think it came out very charming. It's better than some on technical things, but no, I don't think it's like an especially one of the better ones of mine. But I also, if you've listened to the old YouTube videos and stuff like that, I also have spent a lot of time thinking about how it doesn't really matter what I think of my drawings. It's easy for me to have whatever opinion of my drawings that I have, and it doesn't really mean anything for the viewers. You know, we can have perfectly diametrically opposed opinions. The drawings I hate the most can be the viewer's favorite. The viewer's favorite drawings of mine can be the ones that I hate the most. And there's no real way to affect that. So I don't really think about it. Did you ever have periods of regression? I don't think so. Not realistically. I think I definitely suffer from that thing where I always am worried that the current period that I'm in is me regressing. It's like when you're living it, sort of the moment-to-moment artist life, it's like if you're not doing your best one, it's very easy to worry like, oh God, I'm regressing, you know, because we really hunt that high of doing the next drawing. We're like, this is the best one I've ever done, you know, but by definition, it's going to be rarer and rarer. And so I do feel that often, but I know that when I then look back on those periods, it's always obvious that it wasn't a period of regression. It's always kind of steadily uphill. There's definitely, you know, plateaus of diminishing returns where it's like, technically speaking, improvement occurs slower as time goes on, but it's still improvement. Beginner gains are just definitely a thing in art, you know. You improve ridiculously fast at the beginning just because you're incorporating concepts that you just like never heard before and things like that. And then as time goes on, that reduces because you've been ingesting more instruction and thinking about it more and having more insights. So at a certain point, you have sort of heard a bigger percentage of all of the good art ideas out there, and you've spent more and more time integrating them. So there is a period of diminishing returns eventually, once you've been doing it for many, many, many years, where it just takes much longer to improve than it used to. But that's a beautiful time as well. You know, if you can get charged up for that, that is also a beautiful time. Yeah, fuck it. I'll just leave it how it is. That's all right. Sometimes I get my automatic muscle memory impulse to correct something, which is not a big deal in pencil. You know, I do that all the time. You know, I don't like where that line landed. So if it was pencil, I'll just correct at any point in the drawing because I know I can erase back to ground if I'm on good paper. I'll just find the shape that I want. But you got to be careful when you're doing ink. Very often when I'm doing ink, I won't catch that little muscle memory moment, and I'll do the correction, you know, on a line. I'll be like, oh, fuck, they're both permanent. That's right. And again, I'm far too lazy to get my white out. That's the only reason that that's a problem. If you're not as lazy as I am, you can just go get your white out. Sir, goblins stream when? You won't have to wait long. Goblins are the most sophisticated subject matter for any artist. So me being a very sophisticated artist, you know I'm going to do some goblins pretty soon. You know I'm going to do some goblins. Great White Sufi says, Amongst the Trees was one of my favorite ones. I used the Druids as reference for a comic book cage I was asked to make. That's awesome. Happy to hear that, Great White Sufi. Happy to have contributed to the lineage. I like that one too. That's one of mine that I like. I liked Amongst the Trees. I'm going to do another big one soon. I did a medium one after Amongst the Trees, but since then, since that medium one, I haven't done a bigger involved pencil drawing in a while. But I've had some ideas lately. It's been percolating. I can tell it's in that period where my unconscious is sort of picking the one it's going to do. It's going to bubble up soon. I had an idea for one the other day that was like a very different subject matter for me. I was like, do I want to do one of a bridge? That's weird. I kept having this image of a pencil drawing of a bridge. And I was like, that's a new one. Never had that content be interesting to me before. You know, it wouldn't be a normal bridge, but you know what I mean. It's just not usually what comes to mind. And yeah, we'll see about that. I think I'm putting it off for finding my drafting table because I want to get a new drafting table. I had one and then I didn't like it, so I sent it back. But I got to shop around more, get my drafting table, have that big permanent space set so I can just have a big pencil drawing safely placed in its own environment. You don't have to keep moving it off and on the desk and all that. And I'm going to go really big with the next big one. I want to try new sizes
Aberrant, strange, esoteric sizes. Drawings 3, 4 feet wide. Once I get my drafting table, I'm going to buy a roll of paper instead of a pad. Get up to some stuff. Was the time lapse for the AI video medium-sized drawing? That's one of the bigger ones that I do. That was an 18 by 24 inches. I forgot about that one. I had said that I hadn't done any big ones since Amongst the Trees. I completely forgot about Pray for a Spiritual Creature that I did for the AI video. So I have done a big one since then. Pray for a Spiritual Creature, that was the last big paper one I did. I did another drawing on big paper, but the subject matter itself wound up, it's like it was on a big sheet, but by the time I had laid it out, it could have just been on a smaller sheet, on a medium sheet, like an 11 by 14. How do you name your drawings? They take long enough that the name comes to me at some point while I work on them. Like the bigger, more involved pencil drawings take, at minimum 20 hours each, and then a bunch of them can take 100 hours or something like that. So there's always time in there. One day I sit down, I'm like, I know what the name is, yeah. But usually when I start working on it, I don't know what it is. When I look at the fishman on the left, I feel my rib cage poking out of my skin, if that amounts to something. Really feeling the stretch. Good, good. I'm wondering if I have let this one dry enough that I could erase the pencil lines and take a look at it. The man, the myth, the legend. Hey, Sam Lamb, how are ya? How about ya? Any chance for a studio tour in the future? There ain't nothing in here you want to see. You want to see. You want to see. This? Is this what you want? Gaze ye upon my works and despair. Ye giants of nations. I don't have a fancy studio. I'm not like Adam Duff or something like that. Too. Not a decorator. I've always worked in Spartan environment. I don't spend much time carefully keeping everything clean in place and doing everything nice with furniture and all. It's like, I don't like shopping. I just want to focus on the drawing. I just want to be really good at drawing. That sounds like I'm making fun of them. I'm not, because I can acknowledge that it probably would have the effect of me feeling like, oh, such a nice space and all that, but I've just never, that ain't me. I just don't do that very much. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. I don't even like I needed to, the room has a lot of bare walls because there's not a lot of stuff in it, not a lot of decoration, no decorations. No, I did just order a couple nice things actually, the first for me. But so I needed to put up some stuff to reduce the echo. So I got some like foam pads, like the studio egg foam kind of pads things, ones that would look nice when they tessellate and all that. And I ordered a bunch of those and I stuck one on the wall. We stuck a couple on the wall and I was like, this is gonna be nice. And then we tested it and we peeled it off and the foam stuck to the paint. And I was like, well, it was worth a shot, fuck that. And I just bought ugly ass moving blankets and blackout curtains. And I just nailed them into the wall all around my desk to deaden the sound.
So it's like, yeah, even all around me is just black curtain. Black curtain's not on bars. Well, the one that's above the window is now on a bar, but there's two to either side. They're not even on bars. They're just nailed into the wall. And on either side of me, there's moving blankets nailed into the wall. Just utilitarian, fix the audio, move on, get all my beauty inside of the alternate world inside my drawings. They have nice setup because they didn't focus on their drawing, LOL? No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. To be clear, their spaces are clearly better than mine. And I am jealous of their spaces. It's not like I don't want that. But the thing is that I could afford those spaces, right? And I know how I would do it, you know? But I don't. Every day I still don't do it. I don't know. I don't like, yeah, you're probably never going to get a cool studio tour from me because I don't like shopping. Yeah, I get really bored of shopping. And there's something about it. Also, stuff goes wrong. Like all those people, they also like have to wind up being like, they're good like handymen as well, because when you try to do that, who is dead? All right, dead. Hold on, I gotta ban somebody. I don't know what lungs is, but all of those people, they're also, they're good handymen as well. Because whenever you try to, if you've ever tried to deck out your space nice, you know stuff goes wrong all the time. You know, you try to drill something in here, it doesn't work, you gotta move it, you got holes left, you need to spackle, plaster. You need to, if you really want things nice, you also wind up having to customize things inevitably. You got to like saw the legs off of something. You got to alter the top of something. That stuff happens all the time. And I just don't, I've never had the energy for stuff like that. And I'm not good at it. I'm not a handyman at all. If I was a handyman, I think I'd be more inclined to build myself a crazy studio. I've drawn a plastic buffet table. My table is a buffet table as well. It's not a plastic one, it's just a cheap MDF one with a linoleum top, but yep. Just a 6 foot wide, 3 foot deep catering table. It's got the width, it's got the depth. There's nothing underneath, so I can kick my legs while I draw. Mizubi says, do crystals have some kind of spiritual property? Why do people believe all these things? I wonder where they come from. I don't know. I don't think they have a spiritual quality, but I definitely just offended some crystal bros in the chat. I don't charge crystals myself, but a lot of people really love charging crystals, so. But I don't think so. Sorry, crystal bros. Let's see if this one has dried enough to erase the pencil lines. This is risky. We're risking it all right here. Hello, Renola. Hey, Steven, do you like the art of Eyvind Earl? Yes, I do. I'm not big on drawing backgrounds, but when I see his work, I'm always impressed and want to try it out. Yeah, Eyvind's work is great. I've seen one or two of them in person. They had they had a show of Disney art, early era Disney art, at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, maybe last year, I want to say, something like that. And I went to that show at one point. I don't remember when. I feel like it was winter. I feel like I remember I was holding my coat. And at that show, they had a couple Avon Earl originals, and they were, wow. Crystal Bros will get you for this. Just wait until the clips end up on Reddit. Look, for the record, Crystal Bros. Look, just to protect myself, I'm gonna, obviously crystals are sentient, conscious beings. I just don't know that they're necessarily interested in our relationships. I'm not sure that they're emitting romantic energy or manifesting energy or whatever other kind. I don't actually even know what crystals are supposed to do for people who charge crystals. Is it that you can charge them with anything? Because I've read those stories and seen those memes where people charge them with like sexual energy. Is it just that like the crystal can be a repository for any kind of emotional energy? You know what? I'm sorry I asked. Please don't tell me. I immediately imagined the long explanations of what crystals are supposed to do, and I was just like, nah. Maybe later. I will draw with you, says Maria. Hi everyone, this feels pretty relaxing. Hoping everyone is having a good day. We are. I can speak for everybody. Everybody is. And yeah, drawing along is definitely the thing to do here. I don't know why anyone would listen to me if you weren't drawing along. I'm a very annoying person. Very annoying person to just, I feel like, just listen to without drawing along. It's like, you're all captive audiences. I have you trapped. It's like the drawings are just good enough that you have to put up with my bullshit. And I'm like, meteorite rocks would be the only crystal type thing worth buying. Meteors are pretty cool. Meteors are pretty cool. You guys think I could put some markers over these guys? I don't think this paper takes marker very well though. Let me grab a couple markers. Let me grab a marker and I'll just test it in a couple spots real quick. What we got? Ah, Jesus. Oh, Lord. I guess I haven't opened this bag of markers since I moved here. Watercolor? Yeah, I just don't want to. We've been going for about 3 hours now, and I don't want to go get the setup out and get my water jug. Gotta have something in here I can use. Copics? Yeah, I'm looking at my Copics. I want something light, though, with the brush tip, and I don't see... I don't have them easily accessible. Well, I see a cool gray way down here. Recommend any courses on drawing from imagination. Hook me up, yo. Well... I spilled my markers everywhere. I spilled my damn markers everywhere. Ugh. This is what I wanted, the cool gray number 3, and it's totally dry. You can tell. Let me see if I can find another one. I spilled my markers. I got a cool gray here, but not the brush tip that I like. I got a C5, but I think that's just a little too dark. I never liked the C5. I got a warm 3 somewhere in here in a brush tip, but that's kind of... Come on, they're fishermen's. They need to be in cool gray, right? Maybe blue. Do I have like a really light blue? Hold on, let me look in the other bag. Real quick. Real quick. Because a light blue would work for them. Okay, I can't waste too much time looking through my drawers. What about spearmint? What do you guys think about spearmint? Is it too green? I don't hate it. Sentient markers. I gotta wash that. Let me cap my ink here. Do you have a Discord for the channel? There is a Discord through the Patreon. If you go to the description of this video, the Patreon link is right there. It's like the second link or something like that. And if you join the Patreon for even just 1 month, then you're in the Discord. It doesn't kick you out once you stop paying, for the record. You get to hang around. Yeah, I'm trying to decide how I feel about green. It's just... They could be kind of greenish. What's the big deal? Guys, what's the big deal? All right? It's just not a huge deal. And we're just going to do one pass with the markers so that it lightens up nicely. It won't be too overpowering against the black lines. I made a damn mess over here. I spilt my markers everywhere. What do you guys think that guy meant by lungs earlier? Just saying lungs over and over again. Maybe he loves breathing? He's like a rabid breathing activist? You never know, you know? He was a crystal meth bro you insulted them on? Drawing left him breathless? That's funny. He hates fish because they don't have lungs. I think that might be the right answer. That might be what was really going on here. He was asking for gills for the fishmen, maybe. Hey Stephen, how does one become comfortable with drawing their character? I know you use references and practices, but I want to hear something that perhaps I'm missing. Do you mean like one of your characters? You said, how does one become comfortable with drawing their character? Like one of your original characters? Because I think the answer to that is just drawing them incessantly, just drawing them a lot. You need to sort of know what you think they look like in all sorts of situations. You need to find out what you think they look like when they're angry, when they're sad, when they're jumping, when they're fighting, when they're hungry for fish, when they're hungry for beef. You got to figure out what they look like when they want to buy a new Kia as opposed to when they want to buy a new BMW. You got to figure out what they look like when they feel like they got a good price from an airline versus when they feel like they got ripped off by an airline. It's like you got to run them through the ringer so that you just sort of understand them the way you would understand a friend, right? Like your friends, your real friends that you totally have, you know the differences between your friends. You have an inkling of like, all right, this friend, if they were getting ripped off by an airline, they would respond like this. Whereas this friend, if they were being ripped off by an airline while they were hungry for fish as opposed to beef, they would respond like this. You would know those things about your friends. And it's like you need your character to be a real person for you in your head. in that sense, you know? And then once you're really on that psychedelic level, once you really, you know, you've basically made yourself a little tulpa cohort to live inside your mind, then all the questions answer themselves, you know? You just like, you know how they would react in any emotional situation or anything like that, so you know exactly how to draw them. It's that simple and it's that complicated. Kind of like how doing the dots coming off of the shadow shapes makes him feel a little scaly. I got to admit, I do like that. I know you guys don't like it. You guys wish my drawings were other things and I made other choices, but I like it, so you guys can buzz off. See, this is when it's fun, when you discover little happy accidents like that. That's what makes art enjoyable. That's why I sound so happy right now. That's why I sound so overjoyed. Hey, Steven, do you consider yourself to have Riz? What is this? Some sort of litmus test for whether I'm young and hip or not? I have no idea what Riz is. You testing me? I hate it when people do this to me. They're like, hey, Steven, Spungo, right? And it's like, I don't know what Spungo is now. That's because you're an old millennial fart, you moron, you fat moron. It's like, damn. Come on, man. I got personal fast. I guess just a lot of young people don't really confide in me in that way. So how was I ever supposed to keep up with the slang? You know? I don't get texts like that from young people. They're not tooling with me like that. You know, they're not. I get messages from young people, but they're very formal. You know, they're like, Mr. Zapata, sir. How I have good portfolio. You know, it's not slang like that. They're not rizzing me, you know? The Grizzly Bear. Oh, good. This is what old people like me need. Copy paste from slang dictionaries. Riz is a slang term for skill in charming or seducing a potential romantic partner, especially through verbal communication. It is commonly applied in the context of men pursuing women. Jesus. Well, I did lay the fertile seeds for my wife's love for me purely through text over the AIM instant messaging client in the now distant historical youth history of America Online. So somehow I feel like that's not what people are referring to when they use the word Riz. They might be talking about something else. I'm just saying that perhaps technically, because of that, I fulfill that criteria. But yeah, I don't think that's what people are looking for. Steven Rizzata. Yeah, please open your emails with just, hey, yo, what up, Sir Zap? Oh, my stream. You all keep me young. I'll tell you what. Old farts like me need people like y'all. Do a nice cast shadow under the head. Big clear shape. I'm getting really hungry, but I want to marker up at least one of these guys before I go. You don't want to rush it though. Darken down here, make it so the cast shadow portion is darker than the form shadow portion. Damn it, paper slipped. Went right into that form. No good, no good. Let's do this whole upper arm in cast shadow. Not bad. The green worked out. It feels vaguely aquatic. It's not too dark. Could watch you draw on paper all day. Thanks, Dominic. Snoge. 5 lira. Is that lira? No, that's pounds. What is it? Shit, I'm so stupid. Snoge with 5 something. Discovered your channel 2 years ago. The practice is one of the most important things in my life, and you've helped to keep it safe and sacred, bro. Thank you. I'm very happy to hear that, Snoge. Happy to have contributed in whatever small way I have. Truly. That's wonderful. And thanks for being around for 2 years. I'm glad you've been able to stomach me for that long. But of course you've been able to stomach me. The message is excellent. And the way it's presented, my God. My God. Thanks for being here. Oh, you know what? For these guys, let's do one of these. And the rest can be like that. We'll just let it live off the specular reflection. Darken this a little further. Pop off slightly. Damn, I love drawing. Drawing is so fun. Drawing is one of those good little things in the world, to put it lightly. Whoa, sound effects? Only for the most crucial moments. Turn it into a 4D experience. It's like you're there. It's like you're there, a particle on the paper. Having the stylish swish over. Stylish swish over. What fun. Nice. Fun. Cool design, man. Thank you, Shady on Fire. Let me get a sip of water before I decide if I'm gonna marker that other guy too. Me when I realized I was from Innsmouth all along. That's funny. Steven, do you draw in the outside world? I do, yeah. I've spent a lot of time drawing outdoors. $4D, do we get splattered with ink? Covered in it. Absolutely covered in it. Carl Frank says, back to that perfectionism thing. I realized I need to start thinking of art as play again, rather than always obsessing about it being as good as it can be. Amen to that, brother. That's what it's all about. I wonder how people can go out to draw. I have tried it before and it was just annoying and gave me anxiety. I don't know, it's fun. I always liked like drawing on the subway and stuff like that. I've spent some amount of time doing like landscapes as well. But I'd say probably most of my drawing time in plein air from life has been drawing people from life. Or more direct settings like that. Like go to a coffee shop and try to draw the whole coffee shop with the people in it. The bars, the seats, the chairs. I practiced that many times back when I was doing a lot of real world spaces, theme parks, gallery exhibits, restaurants, stuff like that. When I was doing that for work a lot, tried to make it a point to go out and practice in real places like that often. Just to remember, see details, understand scale more intimately. Just encounter it very directly. How do you discreetly draw people without them seeing you staring at them? I would usually draw multiple people at once, and if anyone gave me a look, I would just draw the other person, and then sort of switch back and forth. It's really not a big deal. I've never had even a single person be weird about it, like come up to me and be like, what the fuck are you doing? That's never happened. People don't really care. If you did see someone getting weird about it, just say, all right, for the next 2 minutes, I'm going to draw them from memory. I used to do that a lot too. if it seemed like they had caught on. But, you know, I know that's not going to work for everybody because some people are... That makes sense for me to practice that way because I'm big on drawing from imagination. And I want to make even my life studies sort of inform me in that way. But some of you out there might be like, no, I'm here to do a portrait. Perfect. This person at a coffee shop shouldn't even be drinking their coffee cup. Drinking from their coffee. How dare they? How do I want to design this? Let's do it. Look at this. Trying to design a nice ribbon where that rib cage will turn completely away from the light. You gotta be pretty quick about this stuff. So you can fade it out a little bit. Done. Try not to overhit it. Just put all of this into shadow until some classic scalloped lighting. All the shapes we know from years of life drawing. And the rest, solid shadow. Always looks more daring and interesting and intentional if you leave a huge portion of it in shadow. It's very realistic. Makes people think it was done with reference or something like that. This marker is running dry. I can feel it happening. That's unfortunate. If it runs dry, I'm just gonna leave it as is because sometimes I try to get a color that's similar and just keep it going and it never works out. I always wish I had just left it be. Just left it unfinished. Would you try a bright color to do the rest? Make it look like one is a male and one is a female? Animals usually are more colorful. It's an interesting idea. That is an interesting idea. Definitely something to try for the future. I would need more time to... If I was going to do that with marker, though, I'd have to plan better. I'd have to sift through my marker colors first. I never unpacked my markers. I got them all just shoved in plastic bags together, so I can't see all my colors. I was really using the, I'm really using the color more to model forms rather than to indicate what color I actually think these creatures are. That's why when I was first looking for a marker, I was just looking for a gray. I just didn't have the time to fish out the gray that I wanted, so a colored marker that was like a 40 or 30% gray presented itself, this one. And I was like, if the color's neutral enough, fishy enough, it should be fine. But yeah, I'm not really trying to indicate their color with this. I'm just using what I have to add form shading. You know, in my head, I had done the head already. In my head, I was like, I'm doing the body because I did the head, right? Nope. The whole head is undone. Gotta do the head. I want to use some of Steven's drawings in my future musical videos. Let's hope he hears my call on that one. Get in touch with my people. Just kidding, I don't have people. I gotta tell you though, I don't really do commission work anymore these days. I just do my own thing now. Maybe give that opportunity to a young artist who really wants it. And it could give him a big chance. There used to be a cool grayscale comic art in Creepy and Vampirella. 1984 comic magazines. Yeah, there's been a lot of really nice grayscale only comics. I mean, grayscale is all you need, really. I mean, you can even imply color with grayscale if you're sneaky. If you do the locals just right. I'm not saying people will be in perfect agreement, but even in grayscale, you can definitely make something seem more likely like you can design the value so that people are more likely to think that's a red shirt, even though all they're seeing is gray. Or they'll think it's a blue shirt. Grayscale is very powerful. Stephen, I am a worm eating your brain, and I am inside your brain. So tasty. You see how people treat me on the internet? It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up. You see the things I'm subjected to? How could people talk to me this way? I'm just here trying to draw creepy fishermen. People are telling me, sending me messages saying there are worms inside my brain. Please, please, just leave me alone, please. Please, I'm so confused. The worms, they're in there, they're crawling. I can't get them out. This big dome here is a obvious place to get a goodly amount of dotty texture to get that squamous kind of a feeling. Let's just keep it a little squamous. Do a second pass on the cast shadow under the head and the neck area just to make the head pop off a little bit more, since we really put our green value all over the place. This ink holds up pretty well under the markers, I gotta say. Not bad at all. It does look like Predator. Steven, if you were a concept artist for the film Cats, would you have kept their bums? Yeah. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Affirmative. Copy that. Roger that. Yep. Yes. No doubt. No doubt. Gonna make this completely green, since it's like a webbing anyway. And I can't help but just do a little bit of form, baby. Ooh, I'm a bad boy, breaking all my rules. I'm gonna do a little bit of form, using too many values. Distracting, this area will be distracting. Thank you so much. You're too kind, truly. Boo-doo, thank you. I'll be here all week. Hold on, let me look at this on my other monitor real quick, see what I think. The color is actually a little bit more green than that. My camera's making it look a little bit more gray, but that might be for the best, actually. Might be for the best. It's probably better the grayer it looks rather than greener. A little bit more work in these meaty bits. In the meaty bits. Some silly crap going on in that chat right now, friends. Silly crap. Do art schools still do cadaver dissections? I think it depends on the school. I did cadaver study when I was in school, but I don't know. It depends on the teacher. If the teacher has the political will to make it happen. Does their boss think it's important still? But yeah, they were still doing it when I was in school. I still remember that day vividly. It's an experience you don't forget. I told myself I wouldn't do second passes to create value variety on these guys, but here I am. Damn, I'm such a bad boy. That's what everybody says about me. I'm a bad boy. All the newspapers and magazines, they all say Steven Zapata, bad boy of drafting. Yep, that's how people talk about me. I don't know, what can I say? I'm just dangerous like that. A little bit more dotties. Dotty. Just a little bit more dotties right here. Ooh, so delicately, right on the edge. Right on the edge. Very delicate.
very scary. Must maintain perfect hand pressure. Don't stop, just like that. All right. So subtle. Oh God, the machinations of it all. Mustn't slip, must maintain perfect focus. I can barely see. If I blink, I'll fuck up. My vision's going blurry. Shit. So close. I'm white knuckling it on this one, guys. I'm almost there. This could be the one they remember me for. I fucking did it. I fucking did it. I fucking did it. I mean, looks great. What can I say? It looks great. It doesn't. I'm just fucking around. It doesn't look that great. It doesn't look that great, but it looks hard. I mean, it looks hard. It doesn't look that great. What's the, oh. I guess maybe it did look that great. That's interesting. Wow. I have to say I'm caught completely by surprise. I don't know how. Oh, really? Wow. Thank you so much. Wow, they're serious. I mean, everybody says it, but they're way heavier than you would ever think. I guess I want to thank no one but me, because obviously I didn't get any help while doing this. Nobody could help me. I mean, this is a drawing that I'm doing on my own, and while I couldn't borrow skills from anybody else, I had to learn how to do everything here on my own and then execute it perfectly, completely on my own, riding off of my own ability and confidence. So yeah, I guess I have no one to fucking thank but myself, and I'm the best. And I really appreciate that you're all willing to acknowledge that, truly. Yeah, if you have any hopes of doing stuff like this, don't even fucking try, because there's freaks like me out here. So, there's really just not the faintest of chances for you. Thanks again, everybody. Spay and neuter your pets. All right, everyone. We wrapped it up. We did our drawing. How long have we been going? Oh boy, 3 hours and 50 minutes. I'm hungry, fam. It's time to go get some lunch. It's 2 p.m. here in Nueva York. It's well past lunchtime. Definitely time to go have a little bit of a... Oh, shit. I don't even get to eat right away. I forgot I got to make a particular thing for lunch before all the stuff goes bad. Damn it. All right, now I got to go cook lunch. Lunch is still quite a bit away. I got to make this thing. All right, everybody. I'll catch you again soon. Thank you for being here on a Monday. If you're interested in supporting the streams, check out the Patreon. The link is in the description if you want to learn how to draw in a certain kind of a way and you want to practice in a particular kind of modality, but trust me, it's totally not necessary and you should just draw to be happy. Then you check out Form from Imagination. That's the course, baby. I wish all of you happy drawing and all happy creative endeavors today. Goodbye to Gab Links, goodbye to iNocturne, goodbye to Ill Regard, goodbye to Saman Kucher, goodbye to Mizubi Art, goodbye to Arctic Monkey, goodbye to Chady on Friday, Colin Gallagher, Johnny Pearson, Soko, Raid, Amoliso, Keo, Lucas, Bianchi Ribeiro, Maxwell, J, Ka Lee, Non-Local Quantum Circuit, Nate G Draws, Maria, Zoe, Soka, Alex, 008, Estras Munoz, Gab Links, Amy's Art, Lassie Talks About Art, Johnny Pearson, Seth Hatt, and to all of the other beautiful and wonderful guests of the world's most significant, important, and internationally recognized drawing stream, the irreplaceable, indefatigable,
undeniable, and impregnable Steven Zapata art stream. I've been your humble host, Steven Zapata. And you've all been my loyal followers. My loyal followers. Bye, everybody. Goodbye, Carl Frank. Goodbye, Lloyd Kujis. Riz, goodbye, Riz. Now, Riz has the Riz, for sure. Goodbye, Mujahid Haywood. Goodbye, Moyo. Goodbye, Karem. Goodbye, Felipe. Hannah Novin. Amy's Art, and anybody else that I missed. Doe, goodbye, Doe. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Happy drawing. Peace, everybody.